There's just so much.
You're listening to a Mamamia podcast.
Mamamia acknowledges the traditional owners of land and waters that this podcast is recorded on. Hello and welcome to Cancelled, the podcast that looks at silly celebrity crimes and assigns charges and sentences to them so that we can all move on with our lives. I'm Jessie Stevens and I'm joined by Claire Stevens. And Claire, a lazy girl story for us today. I will give you a hint about this show. More laziness required from this person. But I digress.
Because every now and then I do wonder, new listeners
might wonder the
new
connection.
listeners might think, why do they do the lazy girl
we
story?
do have some new listeners.
Yeah, if we look at our numbers, which we don't, but our producer does.
And we should say that the reason we tell lazy girl stories is because it is one of the biggest crimes.
It is
committed
being a lazy
by
girl.
celebrities. And we realise that is it a crime or is it a strength? Because we relate with it. It's something we are guilty of.
Mm-hmm.
Probably I would say the patron saint of lazy girls is
Mariah Carey.
Mariah Carey.
And
Exactly
the
right.
patron saint of lazy boys is?
Brooklyn Beckham?
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
If you want context on that, just scroll back, listen to those episodes.
Listen to every episode
Yeah,
ever
yes.
for the full context. Jessie, we have a lazy girl story from a lovely lady named Emily who emailed.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Where'd she find our email?
I don't know. But it's podcast@mamamia.com.au.
You can also email.
Yeah. So she said, hi, my name is Emily. I'm from Atlanta. Sorry, that's a fun fact.
Wow.
And I have a lazy girl story for Cancelled. Sometimes when I go to restaurants with a group of people, I'm too lazy to read the menu. And then the waiter comes to take our order
And you panic.
I haven't looked at the options. So I'll have one of my friends order first and then I say, I'll have the same thing. Once the waiter leaves, I have to ask my friend what they actually ordered because I was too lazy to listen. Luckily, I'm not a picky eater at all and I trust my friends to order something good, so I enjoyed the surprise of whatever food I end up getting. Lazy girl.
She's a lazy girl.
This behaviour absolutely horrifies my picky eater friends.
I'm horrified by it.
I could never.
Horrified.
What I do relate with is, I can't be bothered reading the menu.
No, but I've often found, and I don't know if this is true, perhaps some chefs could enlighten us, but with the menu, I find that they do the best thing for the picky eater is often first.
Okay.
You know, like a pasta. It's just like tomato sauce on a pasta.
Well, no, okay. The good thing for picky eaters is you're not considering many options.
No.
Like you're always...
There's one thing you can eat.
Yeah.
So I'll have that. And then you'll say that and I'll go, I'll have what she's having.
Yeah.
Because it's not, I'm scared of fish.
No, I'm not seriously considering 7 different items.
No.
Not at all.
Look, I respect that as a method.
I love the lack of care.
Yeah.
That's what Dad does.
Yeah.
Dad's a lazy girl /
He's got a lazy palate.
Yeah, lazy palate. He goes, you just order for me. Oh, what a way
We're at
to
a
live.
restaurant.
Anyway.
Okay. Well, today it's all about Nicolas Cage.
You're Nick fucking... Whoa, Cage!
It's not his name, Claire.
Oh,
It's not Nicolas Cage. His name is Nicolas Kim Coppala.
like
No, go on.
Is that like an Italian last name?
Oh, you don't think the name Coppala is familiar?
Coppola.
Coppola. Have you ever heard that name?
Sophia Coppola. Yeah.
Cousin.
Oh, I love when we
he was
find
born
out
in 1964. Sophia's his cousin.
celebrities are all related.
Exactly.
And they're also related to royalty.
Yes.
Sometimes.
Like Madonna and also
Camilla?
Orlando Bloom.
Oh.
maybe. I can't remember. But Sophia Coppola is not related to royalty that we know of.
Okay.
She directed Marie Antoinette, The Virgin Suicides, Lost in Translation, etc. And yeah, she's Nick's cousin.
Okay.
Nicholas's uncle was also a director, and he belongs to the 3rd generation of Oscar winners in that family. So he changed his name to escape accusations of being
Of
a Nepo
nepotism.
baby.
Sweetie, you're a Nepo baby. It's fine.
Nicolas Cage has been in every film ever made since 1981.
Fun fact.
You think I'm exaggerating, but he's been in 112 movies.
That's too many.
112.
I'd say that's 100 too many.
In 1996, Cage won an Oscar. What?
For what?
A movie called Leaving Las Vegas.
What are you gonna do now?
I thought I'd move out to Las Vegas.
I don't personally recall it.
Never heard of it. Who else is in it?
I don't know.
Okay.
I've never seen it.
Okay.
My structure for today is as follows. Making movies so bad they're not funny. Being a legitimate shopaholic, followed by too many castles, followed by too many marriages, followed by too many animals. Lastly, naughty boy.
Okay.
Making movies so bad they're not funny. Some of Nicolas Cage's movies are so bad they're good, but most are so bad they shouldn't have been made.
I'm trying to think of a Nicolas Cage movie, a single one. There's like
think
some
he-
kind of
like-
action,
Yes.
like quest.
58 of his films have a score of less than 60% on Rotten Tomatoes. In 1993, he was in a film named Deadfall.
If it's a high card, I'll tell you who I am. And if it's a low card, I'll tell you who you are. Is that a deal?
No, you've never heard of it. Claire, I want you to guess the Rotten Tomatoes score of Deadfall.
4%.
0% for that one. How about a film called Left Behind? And I'll give you a synopsis. 2014, everyone disappears in the earth. Everyone. Nicolas Cage is looking for his wife and his kids, but
They've disappeared.
they've disappeared.
Okay. Is he the only one who hasn't disappeared in the
I
whole
think
world?
he's on a plane or something.
Okay.
I know you all want answers, and believe me, so do I, and I'll do my best to get them.
Okay, what rating did it get on Rotten Tomatoes?
6%.
It got 0%.
Okay.
A favourite review says, Cage has little to do, but somehow manages to do less with it.
I'm imagining he's the main character.
He's the main character.
Okay. Yeah.
There's also a film called Arsenal.
I think we're even.
Oh, you think we're even, you and I? I know of a way where we can both earn what we deserve. You owe me!
Guess the score.
5%.
3%.
Okay.
It says, this is a review, the kind of film that serves only to add to YouTube supercuts of Cage freaking out. And I was like, YouTube supercuts of Cage freaking out?
Yay!
There is a YouTube genre of Nicolas Cage losing his shit. And this is how myself and probably producer Talissa has spent the last week of our lives.
Okay. Let me see.
Okay. This is called Nicolas Cage Freakout Montage. It's had 1.6 million views.
I'm a vampire! I'm a vampire! I'm a vampire! I'm a vampire! I'm a vampire!
Claire, it's 4.5 minutes of Nicolas Cage simply
Just
screaming.
losing his shit.
Losing his shit. So that's what he does.
It's like his shtick.
yeah. I feel as though, you know how video shops all shut down?
Mm.
I think that was just Nicolas Cage movies
Yeah.
that went straight to DVD.
I worked at a video shop and I do reckon that the new release was always a Nicolas Cage special.
And no one wanted it.
No.
No one wanted it. Oh, there's a film called Outcast, which has 4%,
Mm-hmm.
and a review that reads, the whole thing is a big mess, but sometimes it's an amusing mess. And doubly so once Cage shows up. Bless his heart. And I think a lot of the reviews can be summarised as bless.
Oh,
Bless.
so is the vibe he's terrible,
Mm-hmm.
but strangely
Prolific. He's in everything. Because your question might be, why is he so bad at acting and why doesn't he stop?
Mm.
And to that I say, we will come to an answer.
okay.
Because it is a riddle of which it can be solved. There are articles on the internet such as 23 of Nicolas Cage's worst movies.
That's so
23
many
is
worst
too many to have
movies.
worst movies of.
Yeah, wow.
I haven't heard of a single one. There are ones like The Wicker Man, Season of the Witch, Grand Isle.
Wicker Man, I think I've heard of.
Okay. I feel like Dad has watched all of them by accident on a Saturday afternoon when he should be mowing the lawn.
And when he's half falling asleep
Yeah.
on the lounge.
And then you go to change it. No, don't change it. I was watching that. Were you? Because Nicolas Cage is always on the television, but you're never watching the same film. There are a lot of articles on the internet about why Nicolas Cage exclusively makes bad movies, as a lot of people find it upsetting and bamboozling.
Because you would think, even people who are bad at whatever art they're creating, if they create enough, you accidentally hit a good shot.
Well, he won an Oscar. I think
did.
your question is, why does he keep getting chances?
Mm.
And to that I say, the bar can be lowered so low that there are always chances.
Okay.
Okay, so it's not like he's going for mid-tier films. He goes for a low film, gets that, and they go, you actually failed at that. And he's like, I can go lower. And they're like, well, we've got this film. And he's like, great, I'll do it. Fails at that. We can actually go lower. Nicolas Cage is free.
Is it a trajectory thing? Like,
The guy needs the cash due to financial problems. He's here to make enough money to pay off his debts.
oh no.
He's a shopaholic. Okay, that's my second point.
He should have starred in Confessions of a Shopaholic.
Shopaholic.
Too
Too highbrow.
instead of a lady.
No.
It's Joyce, and I'm a shopaholic.
In 2023, He did an interview with 60 Minutes, and Nicolas Cage explained why he keeps making objectively shit movies. He's trying to claw himself out of $6 million worth of debt.
I was overinvested in real estate. It wasn't because I spent $80 on an octopus. The real estate market crashed, and I couldn't get out in time.
How much money did you end up owing to the IRS and to your creditors?
I paid them all back, but it was about $6 million. I never filed for bankruptcy.
And to that I say, maybe you should have.
I think about filing for bankruptcy a lot.
I know. It feels like a real get out of jail free.
But I've heard people say that's really irresponsible to think that it is. But
I feel like it's not good for the economy, but it's good for you.
Yeah. No, but I think some people, especially rich people, will go and like spend a whole lot of money and go on like a holiday and buy fancy things and then file for bankruptcy.
And then you kind of, it's like you just start at zero, not minus 6.
Yeah, it's like I already spent it.
Yeah, it's very I already spent it. He said in this interview, even if the movie ultimately is crummy, they know I'm not phoning it in, that I care every time. And Nick, no one's accusing you of phoning it in. Potentially the opposite.
Going too hard?
He says he was overinvested in real estate and the market crashed and he couldn't get out in time. Well, I get that. But let's just look at some of the purchases that Nicolas Cage has made.
Because I'm not claiming to be good with money. I'm terrible with money. Right now, instead of just parking in the car park at work,
what have you done?
Which is like $20, I've parked in a shorter term car park and had to keep filling it up. By the end of the day, I will have spent $50 on parking and gotten a ticket.
Lazy girl.
She's a lazy
Girl.
High five. Yeah. Nailed it. Yeah.
Chalk Finance.
Welcome to the Market Wrap.
Nicolas Cage financial audit.
You bought a dinosaur skull.
Okay. I haven't bought a dinosaur skull recently.
In 2007, Cage, who is a self-proclaimed history buff,
Ugh.
he outbid Leonardo DiCaprio for a 70 million year old dinosaur skull that cost him $276,000 USD. And that's, let's just go 400,000 Aussie dollars on a dinosaur skull.
I don't trust him to look after it. I think it should be in a museum.
Funny you say that. He was in debt when he bought the skull. And I've said it once and I'll say it again. We cannot be buying dinosaur skulls for almost $500,000 when we're in debt. It's rule number 1.
How are we allowed to do that?
The artifact was stolen when it was sold to him. And in 2015, he had to return it to the Mongolian government.
Okay, I always wonder about this because, you know, in primary school, when somebody would sell you something in the playground, they're like, hey, here's a
Tamagotchi. Yes.
Tamagotchi, and you buy it for like $5.
Yeah.
Which is, where did you
but
get
it was
the $5?
stolen.
And then it's stolen. And I remember you would get in trouble for having bought it.
It's
and
like I didn't know it was stolen.
I didn't know it was stolen.
But a dinosaur skull, I know that's not meant to be in my home.
No, where did it come from?
Mongolia.
Who got it? And do you have a certificate that says you're allowed to have it?
No.
Oh my God. So he just has to return it and just lose his money.
Nicolas Cage said, you have good investments and you have bad investments.
That's not investment.
It's a bad investment. You have to return your dinosaur. It's actually a terrible investment. I reckon that if you have a dinosaur skull in your house, if you're listening and you have a dinosaur skull in your house, I think you got to return it.
To where?
Somewhere.
I think
because it doesn't belong in your home.
Yeah. I think
Belongs
closest
in the
museum.
Knock on the door of a museum and say, I shouldn't have this.
You should put it on display.
You should take it. Claire, it's 2010. You're Nicolas Cage and you're in debt. What do you buy?
2010. Okay.
You've got a dinosaur skull. You've had to give it back, but a pyramid. Describe what you see in this image, please.
I see what looks like a superimposed Nicolas Cage in front of what looks like a funeral.
Tomb.
It looks like a tomb.
Yeah, that's because it's a pyramid tomb.
For himself?
He purchased the last 2 plots in St. Louis Cemetery in New Orleans and then built himself a 9-foot-tall cement pyramid.
Yeah, okay.
For when he dies.
Okay.
Because when you're in debt, you're like, I need a pyramid for when I die. It looks super out of place because otherwise it's a completely normal cemetery with grimy, mouldy gravestones. And then boom, is that Nicolas Cage's pyramid? Yes, it is. And he wanted it there because he likes voodoo.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, is he like from New Orleans?
No.
Okay.
But he's interested in witchcraft and ghosts.
Same.
which will be a theme.
Same. That I have sympathy for.
In 2006, he purchased 40 acres of private island living, which is essentially 2 islands in the Bahamas. To go with it, he grabbed 4 luxury yachts, totaling about 20 mil, including one that had a jacuzzi, a gym, and it slept 12.
This is what I don't understand about money. With what bank card? And when he swiped it,
Why didn't it say in that?
why didn't it say, you got no money, mate?
Credit card.
Just like it does when I try and buy a coffee and I'm out of money.
No, credit card. He got it. And he said, I might be in debt, but I need a jacuzzi on a yacht.
But doesn't the credit card company say you've got no money? And looking at your purchases, the dinosaur skull was a low moment.
It was a low moment. And if I'm considering lending you money, you're not good for it.
I've seen some of your recent films. I don't believe you're getting a return.
You're not making it back.
No.
Back in 1997, Cage paid $150K for the first Superman comic book. He's obsessed with Superman.
Up in the sky, look! It's a bird! It's a plane! It's Superman!
150K isn't that much.
It is when it was stolen 3 years later. Yes, it was.
No.
Yes, it was. Which confirms a theory I've developed that Nicolas Cage has bad luck. Who would have thunk he'd have to return the dinosaur to the Mongolians? But then 11 years later, they found the Superman comic again at an auction. But speaking of bad luck, Claire, I'm going to get you to describe the image that I have printed on this piece of paper. Obviously, Claire, they're shrunken heads. The man owns 2 shrunken pygmy heads, which is a human head that has been shrunken. It's like a historical artifact, but again, that needs to be in a museum, not in your living room.
There's a certain level of thing that you go to buy that should just have like a little note next to it that's like superfluous.
You don't need this.
You don't need
You know in
it.
The Sims how it's like kitchen, bathroom, and then there's miscellaneous?
Yeah. His home is
They don't
full.
need it. Yeah. That's what the pygmy heads are.
Yeah.
That is why I believe he has bad luck.
Oh, yeah. No, because he keeps messing with history.
Yes.
Don't pyramids have some weird, evil
bad
shit?
juju.
Yeah.
I feel like you've got 2 shrunken heads that do not belong to you, your culture, anything, in your living room with your dinosaur
that
skull.
are haunting you.
And everyone's going, you know what? I'm going to curse you and I hope someone steals a Superman comic. Now, moving on to his 15 homes. Nicholas got excited and bought too many homes.
I hate when I buy 15 homes.
He has 1 home in the countryside of Rhode Island.
Mm-hmm.
That was 15.7 mil, that one. $25 million waterfront residence in Newport Beach, mansion in New Orleans for $3.4 million, which is known to be the most haunted house in America.
Something I'm noticing about the way he spends his money is, you know, people say mo money, mo problems. He spends money in ways that inconvenience his own life from a logistical perspective.
Because of the curses?
Because, but also it's like you buy a dinosaur head and it's like, well, the dinosaur head needs to be returned to Mongolia.
Yeah. You buy the pygmy heads, they haunt your house.
And you buy all these different houses.
We've often said the mental load of living in a haunted house is one we cannot be taking on.
I know. It's like buying a haunted house, the time
it takes to deal with ghosts.
to deal
Like
with,
it's one thing to deal with a leaky faucet.
yeah,
But a ghost.
a haunting. Like
Yeah.
you don't
get any sleep.
an exorcist. And then buying properties all over the country, the travel time.
Well, do you want to know what the story is behind the most haunted house?
Obviously.
Okay, well, Madame Delphine LaLaurie tortured her slaves there.
Oh no.
There's loving history, and then there's being titillated by the torture of slaves.
Okay.
And the second one's bad.
I did listen to a stand-up comedy thing recently where the guy was like, I'm a history buff, which is one step before Republican.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's exactly what it is.
You're
isn't
so
it?
into history that it's like, I love slaves, and you've got a bit of a look in your eye that goes,
Oh, no,
no.
not it.
No, it's really sad.
Yeah.
It's tragic history.
Yeah.
Cage said about the house, you know, other people have beachfront property. I have ghost front property.
Well, no, you've also got a beachfront property.
That's what I always say. He has a ghost front property. Speaking of ghost front properties, Cage then started buying European castles. You know how some people have too many hobbies / interests?
Mhm.
That. We have a friend who loves fishing.
Yep.
Collects rods, hooks, bait, lures.
which is another thing. You can't be collecting castles. It is, and I'll say it, unsustainable.
It's an expensive hobby.
It's an expensive hobby. One castle was a 500-year-old Bavarian castle, which might be nice, but you are in debt, mate. He then purchased another German castle with 395 acres of forest, meadows and fields. The castle had 28 rooms, including 10 bedrooms.
Like, who lives in the upkeep?
The upkeep.
It actually really stresses me out because it's like if you were to sit him down and be like, name your houses.
Name them. You know what else about the upkeep? You make your bed in bedroom number 1. What happens? It's haunted.
It's haunted. Gets unmade.
It gets unmade because it's messy. The ghost has slept there. You got ghosts sleeping in all your 10 bedrooms. They're opening windows. They're doing tricks.
You can't tell me the castles aren't a little bit haunted in their own way.
No, that's what I mean.
And
he
then,
exclusively buys haunted houses.
And then when he goes to the airport and they say, write down your address.
Oh, shit.
Which one?
The Bavarian castle 1 or 2. He wanted to ship a castle from Europe to the US, but thankfully someone stopped him. Okay, probably the bank. Yeah. Claire, he kept buying these castles because he loves an adventure and he's searching for the Holy Grail.
180 years of searching and I'm 3 feet away.
And so when he gets a castle with 395 acres of forest, it's a lot of grail to look for.
Okay, so my question there is, do you have to buy the property in order to search for the Holy Grail?
He's tried to search on other people's properties, but I'm sure they call the police.
It's just like,
I know this sounds crazy, but Nicolas Cage is digging up my backyard.
It's like, once he's searched the property and the Holy Grail isn't there,
sell it.
How disappointing.
I know. He said that the adventure is all worth it because it's not about the destination, it's about the journey.
It's not worth it financially through anyone else's eyes because you're in debt.
Yeah. And you've got to work really hard.
People are homeless and you have all these castles and haunted homes.
Too many castles. He is housing 95% of the ghost population. I think.
It's actually a public service.
It is. Moving on to marriages. He's been married 5 times. First, he married Patricia Arquette.
Wow!
AKA
Medium. I bet they talked about ghosts.
Me too.
Oh, she would have said, on my show where I play
a medium.
Brilliant show.
I might go back and watch
that.
There were like 9 seasons, I reckon. I got shit after 6, but the first 4 were really, really good.
That show slapped. Oh, it's a nice match.
They met in 1987 at a restaurant and Cage proposed to her on the spot. And I'm getting the sense
what?
He has issues with impulse control.
I
want a dinosaur skull. I have $70 million. No.
Will you marry me?
No.
We connected over mediums.
Okay, so she didn't marry him immediately. She married him later.
And Nick said, give me a list of 10 things, like a quest, and I'll get all these things, and then you'll marry me. So I wrote all these things that I thought were impossible, getting J.D. Salinger's autograph, a hill tribe, wedding costume, steal me a Bob's Big Boy statue, like all of these things. And then one by one, they started coming to me. And we were just kids, I was 19. And so then he was like, and you're gonna marry me soon. I was like, no, man, we've never even gone on a date.
They got married in 1995 and then they divorced in 2001. Next, Nicolas Cage did something a lot more low-key. He's a low-key kind of guy. He married Elvis's daughter.
Oh.
Lisa Marie.
Oh.
Yep. Their divorce was finalised in 2004, which is the same year that Cage met Alice Kim, a 19-year-old waitress. He was 40. They got married after 2 months and they had a little baby named Kal-El after Superman. I don't know enough about Superman to understand the reference, but apparently it is after Superman, which is his favourite.
Clearly.
Okay.
From the time he bought the comic.
They separated in 2016, but Cage is a romantic who loves love. So next he married Erica Coik in March 2019, and that one lasted for 96 hours.
Oh, no.
In court documents obtained by The Blast, Cage claims that they were both intoxicated and he lacked understanding of his actions in marrying her to the extent that he was incapable of agreeing to the marriage. I feel like he pushed it though.
Me too. Cage also claimed that there were grounds for an annulment since Coik didn't disclose to Cage the full nature and extent of her relationship with another person. He alleged that Coik didn't inform him of her criminal history, including additional active criminal proceedings. And then most recently, Cage married Riko Shibata, who he met while in Japan, filming Prisoners of the Ghostland.
My granddaughter has been lost to us. You, sir, I am told, are the man to do the job. Each arm is equipped with an explosive device. Your trousers are also equipped with explosives.
Really?
Oh, yeah, that one.
That's a film I've never heard of. Sounds awful.
Like, the thing about his films is, where do they go?
Well, they're just nouns put together.
Yes, but they don't go to the cinema.
No, they go straight to DVD.
Yeah.
Which don't exist.
That's the thing, is I've never been on Netflix
And been like,
oh, Nicolas Cage, although there was one a few years ago.
do you know what it was?
The something of being something.
The something of being washed up Nicolas Cage.
Yeah. No, I saw the poster for it.
Let me find the name of it. Hang on. The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
What's the worry here, Nick? You've lost some of your talent as an actor?
No.
I think that was meant to be ironic.
Okay.
Because it starred Nicolas Cage. He plays Nicolas Cage. And it's about how talented he is.
That's funny.
He married this Shibata woman in Vegas in 2021. They're still married. So
good on them.
La, 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 la.
In it for the long haul.
He has too many animals.
Oh, no. Okay. Too many houses, wives, animals, and trinkets.
One of my favourite Nicolas Cage quotes goes as follows. Actually, I'm going to make you read it.
Okay.
It's from the New York Times. Please read that sentence at the top.
What is an octopus? $80? You're not going to go into dire straits buying an octopus. That's how people get into debt.
Have you ever thought about how much an octopus is?
No, because I don't think you should own an octopus.
You shouldn't. And not $80, Claire. Not $80. He bought a bloody octopus for 270,000 AUD.
What kind of octopus?
One to inspire him, apparently.
Well, must have been a pretty special octopus.
He named it Cool.
That poor octopus.
Nicolas Cage bought a $270,000 octopus named Cool.
Okay, no, pause.
What?
Which house does the octopus live in? Because if it lives in the haunted house, that would be terrifying.
Because he bought that octopus for that amount of money before he was famous, and he lived in an apartment where he then had to get an aquarium installed.
Okay.
Into his apartment with Cool.
So we were making bad financial decisions.
Yes, and it was to inspire his acting.
Oh.
He thought that Cool would inspire him. He wasn't a big deal at all, but he knew that Cool needed an aquarium. Then there were Moby and Sheba. What animals do you think they are?
Please don't let them be whales.
They're albino king cobras.
Oh, okay.
They're worth about 400,000 AUD, and they're known for their highly potent venom. But luckily, Nicolas always carried anti-venom on him at all times, just in case. But then he talked about them on a late show.
I just acquired 2 king cobras.
Oh, my God.
A male and a female, and the female's name is Sheba, and the male's name is Moby because he's an albino, so it's like Moby Dick.
Mm-hmm.
And I have them behind 2 computer-locked doors behind bulletproof glass. If they bite me, I won't get bit, but if they do, I've got 15 minutes to live, so I have to get like an antidote, which is next to the cage, and I just plunge into my knee and I'll be all right. That's not going to happen, but... I like to go in there in my red leather chair, you know, with a glass of wine and watch them as they're watching me.
And his neighbours complained.
I would actually freak out if I had a neighbour who had venomous king cobras.
They said if they get out, we're all fucked. We're all fucked, and this is why I don't live in a Thai jungle. Because I don't want to be bitten by a king cobra. And here I am, probably in Beverly Hills, and you go on a show and go, ha ha ha, I've got highly venomous king cobras. Well, no. I mean, absolutely not.
That's hard because how many people have Nicolas Cage as a neighbour?
Really
Do you know what I
true.
mean? If he's got that many properties,
Yeah.
you're fielding
He's got
phone
55
calls
neighbours.
from Germany and all over America saying, oh, I'm his neighbour.
And I don't want a king cobra next door. I won't allow it. Anyway, he had to sell them. His best friend is his cat named Merlin. He has an African pride crow named Huggin, who sometimes eats Merlin's cat food. He also has another cat named Razzmatazz, who is also his best friend, in case you're wondering. razzmatazz.
I feel like he would have cats.
So we've talked about Melon and razzmatazz.
Mm-hmm.
There's another cat story.
Okay.
Lewis.
Yeah, it's a normal name.
Lewis was a cat.
Mm-hmm.
And Lewis got into the fridge. How a cat gets into the fridge.
You never know. But that's the thing about cats.
That is the thing about cats. They get into things and they're smarter than us. Lewis got into the fridge where he attacked and consumed Sir Nicolas Cage's magic mushrooms. There are a lot of parts of that story. Why were the magic mushrooms in the fridge? How did Lewis get into the fridge?
Out of all the things Lewis could have eaten in the fridge, did he have to eat the mushrooms?
Magic mushrooms. Well, he's a cat. He's a forager.
Mm.
And there were mushrooms. Claire, your cat Lewis has eaten your magic mushrooms. Lewis be tripping. What do you do?
Take him to the vet.
You take him to the vet. No, Claire, that's not what Nicolas Cage did. He took the rest of them and he tripped with Lewis. He got into bed with Lewis, looked into Lewis's eyes and said, we're doing this trip together.
Okay.
And Lewis revealed himself to be Nicolas Cage's brother. Okay.
In words or
vibe.
More vibe.
More vibe.
Okay.
I remember lying in my bed for hours, and Lewis was on the desk across from the bed for hours, staring at each other. Not moving. Occasionally he would go, meow. But he would stare at me, and I had no doubt that he was my brother.
In his 60 Minutes interview earlier this year, he introduced us to his monitor lizard named Black Dragon. He said,
This is my black dragon. It's a monitor lizard. He'll get to be about 6 feet long. He's like having a real dinosaur in your house. It's kind of amazing. And he's alive.
saying that your pet is alive is a weird flex.
That is weird. It's like, well, then again, he's got skulls. So I guess he likes having dead animals around.
In 2010, the UK tabloid The Sun claimed that Nicolas will only eat animals who mate in a dignified fashion. They quoted him as saying, "I have a fascination with fish, birds, whales, sentient life, insects and reptiles. I actually choose the way I eat according to the way animals have sex. I think fish are very dignified with sex, also birds, but pigs not so much, so I don't eat pig meat or things like that. I eat fish and fowl."
Why are pigs not dignified in how they have
I
sex?
think that, see, I thought that pigs had 30-minute long orgasms.
Yeah, and pigs are really smart. I just feel like
He's making a lot of assumptions.
pigs are feeling really judged right now. Now, like, just because I have sex in mud and make some grunting, sorry, that's not good
you
enough.
won't eat me. And look, if this was anyone else and I read that, I would go, I don't believe it because it's, it's a tabloid. But it checks out.
Mm.
It's something Nicolas Cage would say. So he doesn't like the way that pigs mate. So he doesn't eat pig. Doesn't like pigs, allegedly. Well, Nicolas Cage is inconsistent and I'm going to call him out for hypocrisy because then he made a film. It was called Pigs. It was about a truffle hunter and he lost his pig and he just travels around the country trying to find his lost female pig.
I feel like the thing about these movies that Nicolas Cage says yes to
is that
I'd know from a synopsis it wasn't going to be good.
Yes. Top line, what's this film about? It's called Pigs. It's not looking great. It's not looking Academy Award winning. Well, it's about a truffle hunter. It's still not. You lose a pig and you chase it. I feel like I chase things a lot.
Yeah.
It's 97% on Rotten Tomatoes. Oh my God, Claire, maybe Pigs is what we have to watch.
Okay, maybe he actually accidentally
made a good movie. Then there's a time he ate a cockroach and he didn't need to.
No.
He ate a real cockroach in the film Vampire's Kiss in 1988. This reportedly took 3 takes, and he once said about the experience, "Every muscle in my body didn't want to do it, but I did it anyway."
That's method acting.
Literally no one wanted you to eat a cockroach, mate. Leave it alone.
Why is a vampire eating a cockroach?
No reason.
Oh,
He was like, "You want me to eat this cockroach?" Nope.
Was it a dead cockroach or an alive cockroach?
I don't think it matters, actually.
Yeah.
It's just disgusting either way.
Oh, yuck.
Finally, being a naughty boy. In 2011, Cage was arrested and charged with public drunkenness, disturbing the peace, and domestic abuse. And this came after the actor had a very public altercation with his then-wife, Alice Kim. According to the New Orleans Police Department, so he would have been in his haunted house around this time, Cage and Kim had a verbal altercation about the location of a property they were renting. This is obviously a real crime and there's nothing funny or light about domestic violence, but I will say, I bet there's confusion about the property you're renting when you have 15
Yeah.
properties, including German castles.
I don't know where it is. I don't know where I live.
Alice Kim is like, can we go home? It's like, which home?
Which one? I don't know any of my addresses. And actually, my brain has been scrambled from living in a haunted house. It's
Like,
really stressful.
we can't go to this home. The ghosts are there. So we'll go to this home. I've been evicted. That one's been taken over by my albino cobras. My neighbours hate me here because of the octopus.
I'm sorry.
It's just a mess. Well, Claire, Cage was arrested, but he got bailed out.
By who?
This guy.
Who's that?
He looks like Tiger King.
Yeah, he does. I feel like that is a guy who would be friends with Nicolas Cage.
His name is Dwan, the dog bounty hunter.
Ugh.
He said, I am truly a dedicated fan of Mr. Cage and will not be granting any interviews about my client, as I wish to protect his privacy. His new series, now I'm talking about Dwan, the dog bounty hunter, I then had a look at his Wikipedia page because I was like, with all due respect, who the fuck are you?
Dwan.
Yes, Dwan had a new series called Dog Unleashed. Was cancelled in 2021 before it aired because apparently he said a bunch of racist, homophobic stuff. But really, he illegally used a taser on someone in Virginia.
Okay.
Speaking of people we cancel along the way.
Okay.
He's not a trusted man.
So he's friends with Nicolas Cage.
I think he just bails people out of things.
Okay.
But he's also a bounty hunter. So what he does is like goes to other countries and finds criminals and bails out Nicolas Cage.
I don't understand.
I don't
him.
fully understand. Claire, it is time for charges and sentences.
Okay, well, this is a very odd one.
Okay. Okay.
Nicholas?
Yes?
Because my charge is...
Can I just add another thing that throw it in there?
Well, I feel like that's what this whole episode has been.
It's just to throw it in there. Let me throw it in there. He's Nicholas without a H.
Yeah.
Nicolas. I don't like that. It's a bit different.
I don't like that he just came up with a
Different
last
name, Nicolas Cage. No, you're Nicolas Coppala.
Can you imagine if, like, Kendall Jenner was like, I'm Kendall Smith. And it's like, no, you're not.
No, you're not.
Actually, there's a lot of nepotism. And if you're buying an octopus for $200,000 plus.
We're in here 20s.
Before you're famous.
Mm.
Don't tell me nepotism ain't a factor.
It is, yeah.
Because I'm not buying octopi.
No.
Ever.
No.
And especially not.
Once we found a turtle, remember that?
Oh, I'm walking down the street. Then it went so fast we lost it.
It did. It ran away.
Anyway.
R.I.P.
Anyway, that is related to my charge, which is being weird. You know when people are so weird that it's actually annoying?
Yeah.
Where it's like, stop it. You get a certain number of
weird-
eccentricities.
Yeah.
But you're doing a lot of weird stuff.
Yeah.
And it's stressful to me. And it's causing chaos to you. Okay?
Unusual guy. Unusual guy.
Unusual.
Yeah.
So being weird.
Yeah.
My sentence is, again, related to octopus purchases, etc. I need this man. I don't understand how debt works. I don't understand how bank works.
No.
I don't understand how wealth works.
I think he paid back the $6 million, but I don't know if he's like in the green now.
Yeah. Well, my sentence is he needs to live frugally for the rest of his life. And seriously, what that means, he's got to have a budget and he's got to stick to that budget. And so that means that if we're going to buy a dinosaur skull, we have to sacrifice other things. We can't.
Like a cobra?
Like our cobra.
What if our cobras are 40% off?
And
Black Friday sale?
No Black Friday sales. And what he's got to do, so he's got all these properties now. You've made the decision. So what are you going to do? You got to Airbnb some of them or rent them out.
No. Imagine going on a holiday. You've wanted to go on a holiday all year. You go, you know what? I'm going to rent a German castle. You show up, it's haunted. You don't get any sleep. You don't have any fun because you're being haunted. You're trying to go to sleep and you're...
Well, I think he needs to rent all of them out. And the one in New Orleans, which seriously has the ghosts.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be a headache to manage.
It is.
Because you're going to have people saying...
And I just feel like the ghosts are tricksters. Like, they're taking the door off the hinges.
Yeah.
They're doing, like, Paranormal Activity style, like, slamming doors.
Can you imagine the complaints? Noises. Like, I imagine you get complaints when you're a totally normal person renting out a totally normal property.
Yeah.
But it's like, you're Nicolas Cage and your place is haunted.
Yeah.
And people say, hi, Nicolas, I rented your place off Airbnb.
No, they do it in the reviews. And they go, some satanic shit happened.
And my stuff is missing.
And my young daughter, my 12-year-old, is possessed by Satan.
So
she's possessed by Satan. We've had to, in fact, if anyone has any recommendations, because we've taken her to the church.
And the least you can do is pay for her exorcism. Pay for her exorcism.
Oh,
that's what I mean about living frugally, is that we need to prioritize our money and we need to go, okay, I've got to pay for that young woman's exorcism from when she stayed in my house. So what I can't do is maintenance on that castle.
Wow.
And maybe I have to sell it because you know what? The Holy Grail wasn't there.
Actually, it wasn't there.
That's the only reason I bought it.
Yeah.
I can probably sell it now. No more auctions. I feel like that's where he's going.
Yeah.
Is weird auctions.
I'm going to no more collecting.
With celebrity friends.
No more collecting of things, castles, marriages, animals, skulls.
The frugal life.
Dead
you can
things.
have one cat. You can have one.
You can have Merlin. But that means you have to give up razzmatazz.
Exactly. Jessie, your charge and sentence.
I've found another issue with Nicolas Cage. What I've done is I've taken him in as though I'm a psychologist and Nicolas Cage has sat in front of me and told me his narrative. And he's gone, I need help. And I go, I've identified what your problem is.
Okay.
You can't say no. You can't say no
what?
to films.
Okay. No. Yeah.
You
can't say no to
salespeople. To salespeople.
Real estate agents.
To real estate agents. You're walking down the street, someone says, hey, you want an octopus? I feel as though, like I was in Thailand, someone offered me a monkey. Did I think about it? Absolutely. But I thought, how will I get it home? But Nicolas doesn't.
Point.
He only says yes to things.
Great point.
And he has very bad impulse control. So to me, at the core of all of this is an inability to say no. The sentence is the harshest we've had in this courtroom.
Oh, wow.
Movie marathon.
Wait. He has to watch all these films?
Yep.
Oh,
he has to sit down in the haunted New Orleans house.
How many
Gather
hours?
the ghosts. Look at what you've done. Look at what you've done.
To cinema.
You must sit down and you must bear witness to what has been done to American film.
So that's, according to my calculations, be about 240 hours, which is...
Weeks.
No. Your maths is so bad.
How
10
many
days?
That's without sleep, without a wee, without a purchase. Give him some time. He might want to get married that week. You know what? His new wife, Shabata, she can sit down and watch it too and go, other people have had to watch it. So you sit down and look at what you've created. Look at these performances. Watch yourself screaming.
Yeah.
Watch the montages.
Overacting for no reason.
Tell me how to get burned! How to get burned! How to get burned! Swear to God I won't shoot you! This is murder!
Watch these films that weren't good enough for cinema, weren't good enough for a streaming service, and were barely worth the DVD they were printed on.
And then watch the one where you randomly won an Oscar.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
For that.
I wonder what house he displays his Oscar in, actually.
I know.
And if there's a cobra in it.
That's what I think he should do.
Okay, yeah. Very harsh punishment, but fair.
Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Cancelled. We'll be posting all the images, including some of his purchases and his castles. And, of course, the pyramid he will be buried in on the twins_thoughts on Instagram. Go and join us there. The executive producer of Cancelled is Talissa Bazaz, and we'll be back next week. Bye.
Bye.